And welcome back. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't have any extra burgers for you today, but I am experimenting with deep fried Oreos. I'm gonna make a dongo sort of thing where we'll have a deep fried Oreo, a cake pop, and a cheesecake pop all on a stick. Sound good? Get it next time. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get back to Echo here. And from what I recall, last time Leo and Chase had a heart to heart after they got back to the motel from Southwestern Adventures, I think was the park name. And there wasn't a real conclusion of their conversation, which, not a good sign. They say don't go to bed angry. They say, talk it out, but it's more complicated than that. So, for right now, they don't have a conclusion. But let's go ahead and get back to the hotel room as everybody's gonna scatter back out and go home. He says he'll talk to the other two about it after they leave. We all say our goodbyes before Leo, Carl, and Flynn take off. TJ takes his usual hour to get ready for bed while Jenna does some schoolwork. By the time I'm finished brushing my teeth, I'm grateful to see them both in bed. I get under the covers next to TJ and lay there for about an hour, staring at the ceiling. Slowly, I slide out from under the covers, careful not to wake TJ. Quietly, I slip on my jeans, grab my jacket before heading out the door. Toby builds a small sandcastle next to the lake in the process of digging a moat around it. Jenna drops a few twigs next to it before running off to find more decorations. Flynn is talking to Sydney, pointing at Toby's sandcastle. Sydney looks hesitant, but excited. He seems to make up his mind, suddenly running forward and kicking the top of the tallest castle. It breaks easily, with most of it flying into Toby's face. Toby flinches back, shocked before immediately crying as he rubs at his eyes. Jenna comes running from across the beach, yelling before shoving at Sydney, who's laughing. She turns to Toby, trying to help clean his face, but the lynx pushes her away before running towards the trail back to Echo. Oh, man. Who is Sydney? What did TJ do? What did he do? Whatever. Yaya River feeds in a lake from the north. It's a farther drive than the lake itself, but it does have a few nice clearings along its edge. One of them has a few benches and a rusted to hell public grill that I'm sure no one has used in decades. I'm glad, again, to have somebody know the experience of, like, why are those there? Nobody uses them anymore. Ah, this is the place that we go. As we're unloading Leo's van, I decide to get the B-roll of the lake right away. It won't have much of a presence in the packet, so I think I'm just going to narrate over it later. The actual lake is only a few minutes walk from here. It's a bit difficult navigating around the sagebrush, and I know I'm going to have to check for ticks later. Oh, that's the worst. I envy city people who have never had to deal with ticks and chiggers and mosquitoes and just, I envy you people. Like, oh man, like, because ticks are bad, but let me tell you, oh god, if a chigger bites you, oh, those are the worst. By the time I reach the lake, my friends are pretty far behind me, hidden behind a few bends and hills. I'm getting uncomfortable with the idea of me holding the camera while I navigate this terrain. Probably would have been better if Leo had just parked the car next to the reservoir while I got out to film, but I guess even that still wasn't okay. There's a large square of paved ground next to the parking lot now. Several benches and a row of brand new grills. Several lamps have been erected around the area, too. Leo was right about trying to turn the reservoir into a recreational spot. I could actually see a few jet boats skimming through the water, leaving long trails of white behind them. There's even what looks like a feline of some sort fishing in the shallows. It would explain why the motel is still in business. Lake Emma is fairly small and about 12 miles long and 5 wide. Now that's. Hmm. I look around before climbing to the top of a nearby hill, then get my shots. Even with a few people there, it's still pretty quiet, aside from the train horns. And it's kind of eerie. Okay, so there are trains around. I just thought the one that went to Echo. Weird. I wrap up and start to quickly make my way back. It's hard to explain why I'm getting freaked out in broad daylight with people around. Either it's because of what happened all those years ago, or I'm just psyching myself out. I'm glad to hear my friends' voices again as I get closer. Then again, it sounds like they're fighting. Been acting like a dick all day. Be glad I came out here at all. Apparently, it would have been better if you hadn't. Maybe I should just fucking leave, Ben. It sounds a lot more serious than our usual squabbles, so I quicken my pace. They seem to quiet down a bit once they see me coming. TJ's off to the side, looking out over the river, occasionally throwing a rock into it. Carl sits in a lawn chair, one of 6 that have been set out in a semicircle. He has his chin on a fist as he lazily stares at me. Jenna and Leo both stand next to each other, looking at Flynn, who's got his back turned, rummaging through the cooler. Hey, what's wrong? Leo sighs. Nothing. You get your film? Yeah, I got it. The silence is still awkward, and I have no idea what the hell to do with myself. I finally realize that I'm still holding the camera and decide to put that away. Um, I'm I'm gonna go for a quick swim. Haven't been in the water in a while. When we first got here, I was completely disappointed to find that the motel didn't have its own swimming pool. Being an otter, I usually like to swim at least once a day, if not more. It's been 3 days and I'm feeling antsy as hell for it. Flint finally turns around, a beer in his hand, as he cracks it open. It was true that he'd been acting a bit strange today. He'd held the entire trip up by a few hours, and when he'd finally shown up, his eyes were bleary and he seemed sluggish, like he'd been up all night. When we'd asked if he was alright, he brushed us off. Yeah, thanks for help setting up. Chase, you're about as useful as this fat ass here. He swings the paw holding the beer at Carl. Flynn. So enjoy that swim while I set everything out. Yeah, I will. Make my soda a diet while you're at it. I've had it with Flynn. He's souring the trip with his need to be an asshole. Go fuck yourself. I ignore him as I strip off my shirt and head to the riverbank. I pat TJ on the shoulder as I pass him before slipping into the water. We're currently in the middle of a drought, and that has lasted the past 3 years, so the water is low, only about 10 feet at its deepest. It's enough. It's enough, though. And God, it feels so good. It's spring, so the water is pretty cold. I swim back and forth a few times before finally diving in. Oh my god, It's weird how much I relate to Chase in some odd ways. You know, like feeling like you were stuck in your town, having a complicated relationship with an ex, and even just this. I have always been a water person, and I've only ever been out on a lake and like gotten to swim once. And let me tell you, just you don't realize how cold the water gets once you get a couple feet down. But that's one thing I used to love, though, is going to the pool that, you know, somebody my grandparents knew let us swim in, and just falling. And just gently moving my arms and pushing the water and letting myself drift down to the bottom. That was so peaceful. Eventually, I settle on drifting to the bottom, laying and gripping onto the rocky floor as I stare up at the shimmery light above me. I feel the gentle current run over my body. It's nice to be away from all that tension above me, feel isolated, alone. And for now, that feels good. Only I could really come down this deep. The others not being able to hold their breath as long or being too little. I remember when we were younger, I would give the others rides around the lake, able to swim for nearly half a mile and back. Even Flynn, the asshole, had done it a few times. It was the one skill I had that I was proud of, even if it was inherent to my species. It still made me somehow useful, or at least different from everyone else, in a good way. Chase, stop being so relatable in weird ways. This is why I play support characters in games, because honestly, you know, I could go in there, be DPS, and I could probably dedicate myself and be pretty high in the charts. I could be the tank, and I could learn the fights and all that, but I much prefer the feeling of satisfaction of knowing that I have uplifted the people around me and let them do what they want to do. And that is such a nice feeling to not only to give to other people, but to have them smile at me. And it feels like I'm able to reflect that smile back at them, genuinely. I'd always felt like the odd one out in the group, strange as it sounds. Where everyone else has a strong, distinct personality, I was just average. Sometimes I wonder if they were just friends with me because we all had to be when we were younger. This whole trip has kind of forced me to think back on all the memories I have of this place and my friends. They were always doing the cool things, being different, while I just sort of blended into the background. Even then, I wanted to do something, to stand out. That's what I'm trying to do here, I guess. It's been about 7 minutes, and I only know that because that's about as long as I can hold my breath. I gotta take a step back again. Look, alright. I'm gonna quote something here. Video pause. I'm addressing you, the viewer, again. Because you need to hear this, whether you already know it and just need to be reaffirmed, or whether you haven't heard it before. But I'm going to quote something to the best of my abilities here. Sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. It can try and convince you that you're no good, that you're nothing. But the fact is, you bring something to this world that no one else can. You see things in a way that no one else ever has before. When you reach out and you touch somebody else, that's a feeling that they have never had with anyone else before. It can be similar, sure, but with you, and the way you approach it, and the way you handle it, it's so unique to you. You are loved and you are wanted. Just remember that for me, okay? I decide I should go back up and help out, so I slowly let myself float back towards the surface, trying to stay in the same spot. When I surface, it's pretty quiet. For a second, I wonder if everyone is just gone. Of course, that's ridiculous, as I come over the embankment and everyone's there. Predictably, Flynn didn't get my food out, so I go to the cooler and grab out a sandwich and soda before sitting in an empty chair next to Leo. Apparently, it was a good idea to bring lawn chairs, considering the tables looked like they were covered in a year's worth of bird shit. How was the swim? His tone is bitter and salty. He's not in his usual grumpy but good-natured mood. He's genuinely unhappy. What the hell was his deal? Amazing. I'm gonna have to come back here again sometime during the week. You lizard people don't understand. You hardly ever need water. It always scares the hell out of me when you're down there that long. I'm built for it. Remember when you'd give us rides? That was fun. Remember when you'd always scream like a girl when Chase would go out too far? Oh, wow. I remember that now. Hey, I've never really liked water. Anyway, Chase would do it on purpose. He knew I didn't like it out at a certain point. Carl looks at me. You know what was really cool was when you'd take us down for a dive. Oh yeah, Chase was like our own little submarine. I'm starting to get that otters are swimming clowns vibe again. Still, I kind of enjoy the attention. You know, this is one of those things where it's like, I feel is so. This is the beauty of furries, right? We're a bunch of anthropomorphic animal people, but a lot of things really translate easily into just humans and human nature, because, I mean, obviously humans wrote this. Well, maybe not. Nobody knows you're a cat on the internet. Except me. So, I find it interesting the way that they have written this out, where the animals are each distinct of the species that they are, but also it's not like a like a cartoon. It really does feel like there are species stereotypes, there is bigotry, but at the same time there is also this very human distinction between them. Or like with Leo, it does, the Hispanic heritage does kind of peek out a little bit there every now and again, but it's done in such a way to where it really does kind of feel like a tight-knit wolf family. And I really like that. And once again, Chase, stop being so hecking relatable about like, oh, I don't feel like I'm really a person. I don't feel like I'm, I feel like, the things that I'm good at just make me a joke rather than actually interesting. And it's like, no, trust me. And again, talking to you, the viewer, if you have something you're good at, it's not a joke. It's starts as a talent and becomes a skill. We get you to take us to the bottom so we could look for treasure. Leo makes air quotes around the last word. I hate interrupting the story so much, but like, quick tangent. My sister, when she was first learning Spanish, we were going through a Hispanic part of a town, and there was, el supermercado, la casa bonita, all sorts of stuff like that. And then there was a flea market called the Treasure Box, but because my sister was reading them off and like trying to read them how you would read them in Spanish. She read treasure box as treasure. Treasure. Like, oh no. And you know, we probably would have found way more stuff if you guys hadn't been dragging me down. I remember when. Are we really fucking talking about this? Everyone turns to look at Flynn. His voice is low and dangerous. There's a chill in the air, because we all know what he means. I was actually feeling pretty good about it at this point. I was actually feeling pretty good about it at this point. Like we crossed a bridge, being able to talk about it for once. Apparently we hadn't. Flynn. No, I'm serious. Do you think it's okay to fucking talk about this when the lake is just a quarter-mile away? You know what, Flynn? I think we should. Isn't that part of the reason why we're here? No! If that were the case, we'd be over there. But we're here. And why is that? Everyone's quiet for a moment. I see TJ shrink into his chair, staring hard at his lap. Flynn, we came here because Chase needed footage. A change comes over Flynn. His face darkens and everyone senses it. Flynn turns to me, and it takes some effort not to flinch back. Yeah? And why's that, Chase? You gonna put that in your fucking documentary? No, Emma Lake is an important part of Echo's history. I just... Just what? Flynn raises his brow ridge at me, and I finally just lower my eyes. This was a stupid fucking idea. You know what, Flynn? If you'd be a little more open, tell us what's on your mind, we'd be able to avoid a lot of this kind of stuff. Oh, you want to know what's on my mind? Flynn swivels and marches up to Carl. Alright, let's start with you. You're fat, lazy, no motivations, no future. What the hell are you planning on doing with your life? Sit here, waste away in Echo, mooching off your parents until you're dead? Carl stares back up at Flynn impassively, though he hunches in on himself a bit further. Flynn, don't do this right now. And you, thinking you're better than everyone else. I can tell you think everyone in Echo is trash. Just because me and the others haven't left, you think we're lower than you. Just because we don't have an education, we're a bunch of retards. Yeah? Well, you left your whole fucking family behind without even saying goodbye. You know what's even going on with them right now? What they're dealing with? Yeah, real fucking hero you are. You think I... Stop it, Flynn. Our unquestionable leader. We wouldn't have been friends without you, would we? That's why you brought us here. Right, so we could all bond? Or, wait, was it just because you wanted to get into Chase's pants? Leo's ears fall flat. Probably. You've been a mess ever since he left, so let me be the one to tell you. It's over! It's fucking unhealthy you're obsessed with him. Slowly his head turns to me and I brace myself. And I can't imagine why. You, Chase, have the personality of a fucking rock. I wish you could see yourself. You just sit there like a creep, watching everyone weighing everything that we say. And don't think I haven't caught the way you stare at all of us like we're all objects to be collected. What, are you just planning to cycle through all of us for sex? Sure seems like it. Flynn stops, then exhales. It seems like it's over. I really hope it is. That proves futile, though, as Flynn slowly turns on TJ. I had silently prayed that the Lynx would make a run for it while Flynn had all his attention focused on us, but TJ looks apathetic, like a statue, like there's no soul in him. Flynn pauses, as if he's at a loss for what to say. Finally, "What happened, TJ?" "Flynn." Leo stands up, and from his posture I can tell the wolf is ready to fight. Memories are starting to flow back. TJ, Flynn, thinking he'd done something to... I stand up as well. Flynn may sound like a hard ass, but physically Leo had him beat, easily. Flynn can obviously tell that he might have a fight on his hands, though, and it's clear he doesn't want that. He drops his shoulders, seeming to shrink, as if invisible strings that had been holding him up were cut. He turns to us, then gestures at TJ. "I just want the truth. Can we just put a stop to this today? Right now? I don't think you know how much of a nightmare this has been for me, not really knowing, TJ." TJ stares up at Flynn, muzzle set grimly. "What happened to Sydney?" It's dead quiet. TJ stares at his lap, not moving. "Come on, let's..." Flynn holds up a hand towards me, still staring at TJ. Slowly, TJ looks up, his face still stoic, still made of stone. "I already told you what happened." "Bullshit!" Flynn steps forward, but Leo's there to grab the back of Flynn's shirt and swing him around. I dodge out of the way as Flynn is flung back to land on his ass, kicking up a big cloud of dust. "Shit! Flynn, I swear to God, if you start a fight here, I'll drop your stupid ass." Everyone except TJ is standing now, staring at Flynn. Flynn sits there, glaring up at Leo, obviously weighing his chances. He seems to come up short, though, as he spits to the side and stands up, brushing off his pants as he turns away. "You're all okay with not knowing? Fuck." He turns back around, hands in his pockets, a bitter look on his face. "This whole thing was stupid, Leo. We're not even friends anymore." Flynn scuffs the ground before turning and walking towards the trail that goes back to Echo. "God damn it, Flynn! Fuck off!" Flynn keeps walking, and it's pretty clear that he isn't coming back. I raise a paw and rub it over my eyes. What was he doing? He's a passionate guy that will sometimes just explode with all his insecurities before running away and hiding it for a few days. He skewered us all like that before, but that was classic Flynn. But he was especially mean. Dark. And the part with TJ, I vaguely remember Flynn having some sort of suspicion, but that had been a long time ago. Had he been sitting on that this whole time? I look to the left and see that TJ's gone. Carl's sitting down, but now it looks like he's pulling out a joint. Leo's walking off down another trail, cursing while Jenna follows him. I stand next to my chair, undecided. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell. Well, that's where we're gonna end this one off. Holy crap. Just immediate go from, oh my god, alright. When we next meet up, I think, yeah. We're gonna get this show on the road. I think I'm changing my order a little bit. We're gonna start with Carl. We're gonna start with Carl, then Flynn, then Jenna, then Leo, and then we'll do TJ last. Because what did TJ do? What did he do? Once again, I want to thank everybody the community that has been encouraging me. I want to thank Rem and Jay and Zelf this time. So, I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.